Welcome back to Meditated Art. Today we are doing another snowy farmyard, I guess. So I don't know what's going on with the videotaping here. It seems very, very high key. Seems very, very bright. And the colors look very, very different than what they should be. Seem to get a little bit better here. So starting off with the sky, as usual, I think I've decided I don't really like the blue that I was using when it's on its own. When I mix it with other colors, it is absolutely lovely. But for whatever reason, using the paint on its own, I don't like the texture. I don't like. I really don't like it. So. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of blue in this particular painting. So there was obviously a little bit of blue, and but quite a dramatic sunrise, sunset. So when I mixed the blue with the purple, it was definitely much nicer to work with. Just seemed very blotchy, very thick, very inconsistent with its with how it worked. Even when I did use water with it, it still did not feel nice to work with. So adding a little bit of orange. I like using orange as a transition between the purple blue and the yellow. Otherwise, obviously, if you went right from yellow and blue, it would create kind of a green color, which you kind of got at the upper portion of the painting until I went over it. So quite a dramatic sunrise. Those are not sunbeams that I'm leaving white. There's going to be a tree. Decided I very much like working in the oranges and yellows for the sunset and sunrise colors. And as usual, my little kitty is here beside me. Don't know if you could hear that, but so just more color, adding a little bit more depth with the oranges and the yellows. That's where the sun actually is. It's really hard to see, but that is white that I'm putting in there. And again, here's the same blue that I used in the sky, and I've just mixed a deep green with it. And it actually does make quite a lovely color. I really quite like this color. Just making some treetops, so it's just not one smooth line in the horizon. I'm just adding a little bit of white in with that. The paint's still wet, so it mixes quite nicely. And I'm kind of thinking it's like a kind of a misty morning down in a valley or something like that. I think it skipped a little bit there. I think I realized that I was missing my computer was acting up, or sorry, my camera was acting up. Couldn't quite figure it out. So I think I actually ended up stopping there to try and figure it out. And I still don't know what happened with it. I was able to figure it out and continue. So I just stopped it in a few different places because I was also making lunch at the time. So it's nice to do the different areas in chunks. So I did the sky and the mountain, and then I stopped, and now I'm doing the snowy barnyard here. And then I think I stopped to do a little bit more with lunch, then came back to it. So it's kind of nice that I can take breaks like that. Obviously, during the week, I don't have that luxury, but on weekends, I do. Just adding some different colors. Not colors, but a little bit of lightness where the sun might be shining, and can't really tell because of how bright it is, but you can see a little bit now with a yellow, like the snow's reflecting the sunrise. So this is where I'm adding in, because it's a barnyard, it's not going to be pure white snow. And I had the brilliant idea of using the fan brush for the grass, and that's coming up through the snow. And yeah, it works. It works really, really well. And just playing around with some techniques. So brushing up for the grass, and then basically turning it on its side and using it to create individual longer pieces of grass, and then moving the brush horizontally to kind of create muddy patches. So I think I mentioned previously that this is the first time I've used the fan brush, and I like it. I really quite like it. I'm finding it to be extremely versatile, and I'll definitely have to keep it in mind when I'm doing some of the more irritating parts of painting, like grass. And I'd imagine using it for fur, if you like when I paint animals, would probably be really good with that too. Yeah, so this is actually a really good indication of how bright the image is, how much brighter it actually is compared to what I'm painting, because the red there looks very, very, very bright, and it really isn't. It's it is actually fairly dark, but whatever is going on with the lighting, it definitely brightened it up, that's for sure. So leaving a little bit blank, a little bit of white there. That's going to be where the door is. I don't know what it is about red barns with white trim. I don't know what it is, but it looks really pretty. So I don't know who decided that that's the color that a barn is going to be, but it works for me. So just adding some snow on top of the roof. And the trim. Using the 1/4 inch, the 1/4 inch flat brush. And here I don't know what happened, but it zoomed in, so I had to zoom out. And painting in my least favorite types of trees. But this one was actually kind of fun. It's quite large, obviously, and all sorts of twisted branches, and it's very gnarly. And yes, I did have a photo reference to go by, so I had drawn in some of the branches, not all of them, mostly because I still don't really enjoy painting trees, so painted in the larger branches with my 1/4 inch flat brush. So just putting in the fence and posts and that. And not trying to be perfect or anything like that. For most people, painting should be fun and not to stress out about it. And the other 2 trees. And yes, these are 2 trees, not just one big thick one, but 2 either planted really close or because of angle and perspective, they look like they're basically on top of each other, which is probably more so the case. And now I'm just going through with the I really need to come up with a name for it since I don't really know the proper term. I'm going to call it the pointy mop brush. So I'm using the pointy mop brush to put in all of the gnarly little branches, since I can create a fine line using this particular brush. And I have to admit, since getting this brush, I've not hated painting these type of trees as much as I usually do. So I might eventually even grow to enjoy painting these types of trees with the bare leaves, sorry, the bare branches, no leaves, you know what I mean. So just more and more branches. This is a big tree. I don't know what type it's supposed to be. Um, my grandparents had, I want to say maple. Yeah, I think they had maple trees. Maple and chestnuts. Well, of course, looking at it now, I was like, oh, I should definitely have made that trunk a little bit bigger, but oh well, too late now. Almost finished with the branches. So here we're going in and painting the snow that has stuck to the fence. So we're painting on the tops of the fence line, a little bit thinner where it meets up with the post. We're doing that with the top and the bottom. And we're also putting in on the sides as well. So like, maybe there was a snowstorm the previous night and it was coming in sideways and it just kind of stuck to the fence posts type idea. And it is kind of hard to see. Like everything seems to kind of blend in because of whatever setting my camera is on. But in actuality, it is there is more of a color difference in the snow and everything. So, and we're going to do the same with the trees. And this will also add a lot more to it as well. It is just very flat the way it is before, just the brown. And you could add different tones of the brown for like texture of the bark. But because the image is backlit, you do tend to lose detail in an image. So that's one of the reasons I didn't put in the detail like that. But you would definitely see the snow. And I'm not putting it on all the branches. And just the thicker, heavier ones that would be able to support the snow. And it definitely adds just enough visual interest. And there's the two separate trunks. We're almost there. Just wanted to add a little bit more white to the sun, make it stand out a little bit better. And removing the tape, which is quickly becoming one of my least favorite parts, using the thick tape, because it just doesn't come off nicely, or easily for that matter. There we go. Thanks for watching.